All right, guys, welcome to a rather impromptu autoscope video. I actually, unfortunately, have a funeral to go to out of town today, so I thought I would take you along with me. We're going to unplug it here. This wasn't necessarily planned, so I have 90% state of charge, which is what I have it set to do for me daily. My daily limit, I charge to 90, which is what Ford recommends. So we are going to go from where I live, which is Kernersville, North Carolina, outside of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, down to Taylorsville, North Carolina. And I'm going to take you along for the trip really quickly just to see how well the Lightning handles an impromptu quick little road trip. And it's about an hour and 15 minutes one way, and then I'll come back again. We'll see if we need to stop and charge and all that kind of stuff. So let's hop in the truck, look at the charging level just so I can show you guys that, and then we'll hop on the road. All right, guys, so we are here in the truck. Just wanted to show you real quickly. You can see I do have technically, I guess, 89%. I always charge it up to 90, and then usually as soon as I get in, it dips down to 89, and then by the time I go to the first stop sign or something, it'll jump back up to 90. So I'm right there on that cusp, showing an estimated 284 miles of range. So we will see how the Lightning does for this little trip. Guys, so just wanted to do a quick little check-in here. I've been driving for 30 minutes now, as you can see. Let me get a little clearer for you. So with driving for 30 minutes now, so far my efficiency is 1.8 miles per kilowatt hour. Not the most efficient for sure, but it is a little bit chilly out today. It's the truck is showing 59 degrees, and let's see, my watch is showing about 55, so it's in the mid 50s or so. So that's a little bit chilly, though it is a clear day, but it's pretty windy, so the wind is definitely taking a toll on our efficiency. But again, this is just kind of a real life impromptu ride, somewhat short day trip, so we're gonna just kind of see how it pans out. I've used 10% of the battery so far. I've got 80% showing now, with 231 miles, now 230 miles of range left on the truck. So I've got my cruise control on at 75 miles an hour. So of course that also plays a role in my efficiency being 75 instead of 70. So yeah, I just want to check in with you guys, show you some numbers, and then I'll let you know what I end up with when we get there, and then we'll go back home and see how the trip back goes. All right, guys, I did check the weather. So the weather is showing 58 degrees outside, so the truck is pretty much spot on. And the wind is 9 miles an hour, and it's hitting me from the side. So we do have a 9 mile an hour side wind right now, which kind of explains the 1.8 mile per kilowatt hour in efficiency. So again, we'll just kind of take it as it goes and see how we end up when we arrive. I am pulling up, and looks like I arrived with 63% state of charge. Final efficiency was 1.8 miles per kilowatt hour. And so yeah, just a quick check-in, pulling in here, and then we will head back home and see what we're looking like. All right, guys, so we are heading back home now. So just to show you guys here, leaving with 60% state of charge, estimated 162 miles of range left on the truck. And we'll see how it goes. Definitely am not going to need to charge on the way home, but let's see how much we got when we get back. Should take us about an hour and 10 or 15 minutes to get back home. Alright guys, so time got away from me a little bit, but I'll go ahead and do a little check-in with you here. I'm probably only about 15 minutes away from my house. Of course, I'll let you know what we're looking like when we get there. But here we are, 15 or so minutes away from the house, and I've got 95 miles of expected range left, 38% state of charge, and efficiency is much better this leg than it was on the way down. The wind has not been near as bad. So we're averaging 2.2 miles per kilowatt hour this time, instead of the 1.8 that we got total last time. All right, and so we are, like I said, 10 or 15 minutes away from the house. I'll update you again once we get there to let you see what we end up with. Again, this was just kind of like a spur of the moment trip here, just to show you kind of real world. Maybe you're on the fence of an electric vehicle or something like that. You get up one day, decide, oh, I need to go, 2.5 hour round trip. Should I be worried about charging? And, I think the answer is most of the time you shouldn't have a problem with that. With the way most people tend to drive, and like I said, even on a trip like this where you're driving, 2 to 2.5 hours round trip, most of the time, as long as you have access to home charging and you're able to, charge it up to 80 or 90% every day, the real world range that you'll get out of that 9 times out of 10 is plenty to suffice whatever you might need to do. All right, so we'll check in again when we get back home. All right, guys, we are just a couple of minutes from my house, and I thought I'd just go ahead and share with you. I am just ticked down to 34% state of charge. I have 87 miles estimated range left on the truck, as you can see there. Total efficiency so far, ending up here with 2.3 miles per kilowatt hour. I've driven on this leg 73.5 miles. So if you multiply that by 2, then that's like what, 146, 147 miles or so, excuse me, round trip here that I did today, and I went from 90% down to 34%. So, again, just to kind of prove my point here, I think if you had an electric vehicle and you woke up one day and you're like, man, I need to take this 2.5 hour trip, am I going to be able to do that without having to worry about charging or whatever? 9 times out of 10, it's really not going to be that big of an issue. So I have kept the AC on. It's been on automatic, the lowest setting of automatic for a driver, focused only at 72 degrees. I kept my speed cruise control on pretty much the whole time on the highway, anywhere between 72 and 75 miles an hour. So that's kind of the speed and everything that I was going. And I'll show you here as soon as I get parked, just kind of the stats here for this last leg on the truck with the trip energy here. Wind this time was nowhere near as bad as it was on the way up, so my efficiency, that's why my efficiency is so much better. But again, final took an hour and 15 minutes, 2.3 miles per kilowatt hour, 74 miles, literally exactly. So that'd be like what, 148 miles round trip. Went from 90% state of charge down to 34% state of charge. Still have 87 miles of range left, so I actually have to go out to the grocery store a little bit later, grab a couple things we're going to need for the week. Still have plenty of range left, to handle all of that before I plug it in my garage. when I go to sleep tonight, and it will be right back to 90% tomorrow. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys a quick little impromptu road trip there. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Appreciate you sticking around to the end. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe, and let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more content like this. Thanks. Bye.